Thank you for being with us this morning.
Muchas gracias a tú también. Okay.
I have personally seen tens of keynotes and talks and interviews of you, and having the opportunity of asking the questions I ever wanted to ask in my community of belonging, it's such a pleasure. The first question I'm going to ask in Spanish first, so it doesn't get lost in translation. I trust the translators, but still. La primera pregunta que le quiero hacer es, ¿qué nos puede decir para que todos nosotros confirmemos que Vitalik es un humano de carne y hueso, como todos nosotros, y que no es un reptiliano? So, my first question is, what can you tell us for all of us to feel that you're a human in the flesh, like we all are, and that you're not a reptilian, that you're a person that feels, that suffers, that finds exciting frustration? We want all of us to feel that you are one of our species.
Yo no sé qué tengo que responder.
I can help you out.
Okay.
What's something that makes you happy? What's something that makes you sad? What breaks your heart?
I don't know. Seeing so many people in just such an amazing Ethereum community, just come together and spend so much time and just put so much hard work into everything that people are doing here. Just continues to make me happy every year. It's just every week, every month, I just learn about some new group of people that's just doing something really cool and really amazing. And it's a lot of great projects. And every time I meet the people behind the projects, I think they're really great people too. And it's always makes me happy to see people. Always makes me happy to see old friends, to make new friends everywhere I go. Simple things.
Thank you. Now, something that makes us humans, it's making mistakes. Could you share an experience in which you have clearly made a mistake and regret it, and you wish you could go back in time and make something different? And if it's related to Ethereum, the better. After 7 years of Ethereum, I'm sure you made mistakes.
I think we've made many different kinds of mistakes. Especially if you go into the Ethereum protocol, there's decisions that we made where we tried to do one thing and then we spent 2 years on it, and then we realized it's too complicated. We have to do something totally different, and it would have been so much easier if we just started with the other thing first. And if it's the proof of stake design, layer 2 scaling, all of these topics. And then, I think with things like, even how the Ethereum Foundation works, how we work with the Ethereum community, there's a lot of things that I think we did not do very well at the beginning, and I think we learned from our mistakes, and we learned to do better and better over time. Don't start a project and just immediately bring in 15 people, even if you're not sure if you can trust them or what their intentions are. Try to really understand well the people that you choose to work closely with. But I also think that for all of these mistakes that I made, both the technical mistakes and the mistakes that have to do with people, I'm not sure it would have been any other way. Because I think every mistake is a learning experience, right? And it's like the only way that we know that it's correct to do things one way is often if we do try the other ways, and we see that like actually those ways don't work, and we have to try some other way, and we have to keep trying until we do figure something out that works. So I think that's natural. I think that's okay.
Thank you very much. I hope nobody has any doubt that Vitalik is a real human in the flesh that makes mistakes, that wish some things were different. Now that we have confirmed that, and we can feel he may still be a superhuman, but any of us could take the active decision of create or use using technology for transformative change. Many of the people in the audience are passionate about Ethereum, but they aren't software developers. And most of us believe that it's still good to have them learn and be educated in decentralized technologies and the many things happening around DevCon. Would you have a recommendation for someone that's not technical to still acquire knowledge to produce positive change?
I think there are many different ways to contribute to the ecosystem. So you can contribute as a developer, you can contribute as a researcher, you can also contribute as a community organizer, you can contribute just by like helping to find and get other people involved. I think there's a lot of different ways for people to make a big difference in the ecosystem. And I think there are different pieces of the ecosystem for everyone, right? And I think for every type of person, there are communities that are talking about every different topic, right? There are a lot of communities talking about technology. There are many communities talking about applications, like how to actually bring blockchain applications to regular people. There's a lot of people talking about some of the like philosophy and the ideas behind the space, and there are groups of people talking about each of these things, and I think you can find them, and it's a big community. You can find people, you can talk to people and make friends, and like I have seen many people just go from being complete outsiders to even leading important projects in the space in less than 1 year. So it can happen.
It does happen, thank you. On the same vein, speaking about what has to happen for positive impact to get in touch with the communities, many of us Latin Americans are in desperate needs of the different applications that could be built on top of decentralized technologies. But still, adoption has been slow at best. How long do you think, and this is a wild guesstimate, like it's in the decades time frame, but how long do you feel it may take for these technologies to be accessible for most, let's say for 1 out of 2 people in Colombia, assuming every person that has a portable electronic device? Is it going to take 10 years, 20 years, 50 years? And it's not that you can see the future or have a crystal ball, but you may be one of the best informed people on what's happening, what technologies are going to enable a greater leap in adoption. So how long do you think it will take until the parents and grandparents on the people in this room to be able to enjoy the benefits of decentralized tech?
I think a lot will happen over this decade. I think this decade will be the decade when the technology of the space really matures, and we go from the blockchains that we have today to platforms that are very scalable, very easy to use, solve problems like privacy. And so, if there is something that makes sense to build on a blockchain, then you can build it on a blockchain. I think we were not quite there today, but I think with the merge in September, we made a lot of progress, and I think there's a lot more progress that's going to come very quickly. So in maybe 4 or 5 hours, I'm also going to present at the Rollup event. So just a lot of layer 2 scaling projects happening there. So I think. Once all of these technical issues are solved, then the remaining, I think it can make a big difference, right? Because if you think about the difference between the applications that people built on the internet in 1990 and the applications that people build on the internet in 2020, it's a very huge difference. And the difference is only possible because the technology of the internet is just so much more powerful, right? So I think once the technological issues are solved, the next question is what things does it actually make sense to build? What things actually does it make sense for people to use? And we will, there already are, and there will be a lot of experiments. And I think there's a lot of people here and a lot of people in Latin America and around the world who are very good at taking good technologies and turning them into things that people want to use. And I think over the next 10 years, we will get to see the answers to these questions.
Your optimism, it's definitely exciting. It's refreshing. Not that we will hold you accountable, but it would be really nice to have you back maybe in 7 or 9 years, and we review whether your grandparents or people's grandparents are enjoying these benefits. And how do you think it's going to look like? What are people's grandparents be doing? Will they be doing cross-border transfers, or maybe that they can do today? They are collecting POAPs, they are minting NFTs. What else do you foresee the people on the ground will be doing in 7 years on top of these technologies?
I think we'll see a lot of similar things that people are doing today. So we'll continue to see a lot of people doing money transfers. We'll see a lot of people making DAOs for different causes, different industries, different regions. We will see people trying to make some blockchain-based identity solutions. We'll see a lot of different kinds of governance-related applications. We'll see a lot of applications around trying to track real-world objects, applications around trying to create different kinds of virtual assets and virtual worlds. But so these are all things that people are doing today. But I think over the next 5 to 10 years, we will start to find versions of these ideas that actually work well, and they're going to look very different, and they're going to start being much more successful. I think it's this is something that we have seen already with a lot of Ethereum applications, right? If we look at ENS, for example, right? 4 years ago, ENS was a toy, but today ENS is just part of everyone's experience using Ethereum. Lots of people have ENS names. It's just there. You can use it, and the question is, what are the things that are like toys today and that will be like that 4 years from now? I mean, I think POAPs will be there. I think proof of humanity will be there. I think some kinds of DAOs will be there. I think DeFi will continue to improve, and we'll see kind of this the split between DeFi that does not make sense and DeFi that does make sense. And I think over time, the people will start to see more and more which DeFi applications are really actually valuable to people and that have a lot of staying power. And I think there are a lot that can be valuable for regular people, right? Like even like synthetic assets that give people access to different kinds of investments. Like these are things that can be built, but these are things that people won't focus on while people think that they can make 25% interest a year doing weird stuff, right? But I think the earning 25% interest a year doing weird stuff, like everyone understands that it's short term, it's temporary, and a lot of these things have gone away this year, and I think we're going to start to see more of these more high quality and sustainable projects appear over time.
I really love the answer. It's very similar to the way I believe this is gonna spread out. If we had to identify the main topics you said, you started with DAOs, which is mostly coordination, and I think most of us agree that Ethereum is a really powerful coordination engine. Then you mentioned entertainment and communication, and on top of that we have private communication, and then finance. And those may be at this stage the three most hottest and lowest hanging fruits for Ethereum to be useful. Do you have a personal preference between coordination engine, and that comes with quadratic funding and that kind of new models, privacy tech for safe, reliable, secure communications, and finance? Is there any of those topics that you feel personally more passionate?
So I think those topics are connected. Like, I think good forms of coordination are going to require privacy. So, like, I have talked a lot, I've written many blog posts, many presentations about why privacy is very important for voting, right? And I think, and for the same reason, I think privacy is going to be very important for quadratic funding. I think privacy is going to be important for DAO governance. So I think the applications that make the most sense are going to be applications that combine together like different elements of all three of these ideas, right? Like, I think we are going to have like excellent coordination technology that will require privacy, and I think the applications that are the most powerful will involve a combination of like financial and non-financial components, right? Like, if you look at ENS, for example, right? It has some financial components, like you have to pay to register a domain name, and if it's a 3-letter domain name, you have to pay $640 a year. And it's, there is a payment component and there's an economics component, but ENS names are not just like an asset that you hold to speculate and make a profit, right? ENS names are a very useful thing that really improves people's user experience. It's useful as a form of self-expression, and it's just a big set of applications that are not just about finance. So I think a lot of applications in the future are going to be like that.
That's definitely a valid answer. The combination of these areas enable way greater results than them in islands. We're about to run out of time. A quick comment, because we all love ENS, but would you believe ENS adoption, even across this room, is not as high, as ubiquitous as we would be? Could you make a quick note on how someone here that's never heard of ENS should use it?
Okay, so if you go to app.ens.domains, then you can go there, you can choose a name. So for example, like I am vitalik.eth, and so you can choose your own name, .eth, then you can click register, register it, and then if you register a name, right? So if, for example, your name is like George and you register george.eth, then that's probably taken, right? But it's an example. So if you then if I want to send you coins or I want to send you an NFT, then when I type in my wallet, you do not have to give me your address, right? I can just type in george.eth and I can just click send and send it to you automatically, right? Also, there's more and more services that integrate with ENS. So for example, Etherscan created this simple application called it's a chat.blockscan.com. It's a chat that uses sign in with Ethereum, and it uses ENS. So if you have an Ethereum account, you can sign in to chat.blockscan.com. And you've already, maybe people already sent you messages. When I signed in for the first time, 100 people sent me messages already. So then if you have an ENS name and you send someone else a message, they will see that it is George.eth that sent them a message, right? So there's all of these, it is like your username in the Web3 world.
ENS is one of the nicest products the Ethereum community has built. I encourage everyone here, by the end of DevCon, you have used and hopefully created your ENS. Thank you very much, Vitalik.
Thank you.
Hopefully.
Sí, muchas gracias para la charla. Y quiero intentar decir un poco para la comunidad en español. Yo no soy una computadora, yo no soy superhumano, yo soy un humano normal. Y ustedes todos pueden hacer mucho en nuestro ecosistema. Si usted ahora no sabes nada, quizás en el próximo año vas a hacer un proyecto muy grande. Esto es posible, todo es posible en nuestra comunidad. Muchas gracias.